afika vimbe enze yonke into kuthiwa yidela ngokubona lobona. So laba uma ufuna umsebenzi bhala ba hayi nami ngiyakwazi ukwenza, ngiyakwazi ukuxova udaka, ngiyakwazi ukuthenda rish, bhala ufake bese umeceleni sukuya lapha akusayiwa manje lapha. Sukuthatha ibhanyana zakho negrupana yakho uye phaya. Yekani i-extortion. Ukhamba nemakhaya omama abadala nibafuna imali. Ngoba sizothola ukuthi wenza ini. Abanye phaya eCape Town bagibela amakhumbi. Kudeliver kuthiwe seningaqala ke la ne-extort ke. Hambe nifuna imali. Behliswe bahambe collect kuthiwa collect. Nathi so collect. Qhubekani namakhumbi, qhubekani nokucollect imali, nathi so collect. Kodwa thina so collector nina. Bangiphetheke ngokuthi siphatheke kabi ukuthi sifike ngosuku njengalolu. Kodwa sizothi kini njengomphakathi siyazi ukuthi nihlukumezekile. Nabona into eningakaze niyibone, nezwe into eningakaze nizwe. Ukufa kwabantu abawu-18. Ngiyabulela into i-provincial government ukuthi iphume yaqoqa wonke lama families ukuthi izosebenza nawo ukuya emangcwabeni ukulekelela ama families ukuthi bakwazi ukubathwalisa lobumzima. Siyabonga Premier Mabuyana, the hulumeni wephondo. Siyabonga kakhulu. But siyazi ukuthi nasemqondweni abantu bahlukumezekile. Ingakho ke sithatha elixesha lelisisho ukuthi ihlisani nje umoya. Even emva komngcwabo, we are not going to leave this area. Sizokwenza indaba zokuthi ibe ngcono ipolicy lapha eLusikisiki. Ngoba siyabona ukuthi lapha nalapha i-foundation ikhona la. Police station nansi ayiyodwa futhi. Amaphoyisa akhona. Kodwa sicubungula kahle la khona ama-gaps here and there. Ukhona umuntu okhale ngokuthi sigameko senzeka ngalesikhathi, amaphoyisa afika ngalesi sikhathi. Sizayibheka yonke leyo mcimbi ukuthi silandele ukuthi siyenze improvement. Makhona singakuboni kahle sizakhuluma namaphoyisa ukuthi no ayenzeki kahle la. Kufanele sishintshe la. Kuona amaphoyisa alapha eLusikisiki. Ayisimo sishintshile manje. Ngoba kuthiwa kule ndawo ayehambela nje ama-criminals. Ekhona amaphoyisa. Sawuxoxa lo mcimbi. Ukuthi njani? Kwenzeka kanjani? Abangani benu nilaba. Abangani benu nilaba. Xa khona singakuboni kahle sizothatha inyathelo. Hlisana umoya ke bakwethu. Ni support nje umsebenzi wenziwa amaphoyisa. Nathi sikhona. Kodwa ngiyafuna ukuliphinda leli lokuthi siyabaza abantu esibafunayo. Sisemva kwabo seyithendeni kubo. Ingalo yomthetho inde. Noma ngabe abasiza ukuvuka labantu abawu-18 kodwa isilence yabo, ukuthula kwabo kuzobasebenzela. Igazi labo ngeke liconse phansi emhlabathini. We'll come back and say to them, we've done the job. Nihambe ngokuthula. Siyabonga kakhulu.
News Africa nansi yakho.
Nansi ka News Africa ngishekile. Inkosi kakhulu. Singahlala phansi inkosi kakhulu. Bengikhenda nesicelo ke Elia. Soba yaqonda bafuni ngivumile into bengicela. Ndiye ndijonge emehlweni. Abona emehlweni edibana wandijonga nami sajongana. Abona basikunye lento sithethayo. Yoba sicela le nhlanganiso namhlanje singabi nayo opportunity banithethe no minister. Kodwa ke kaNqatha uPremier ubophelele wathi niyabuya. Umphathiso. Nawe uyangqina niyabuya. Benza commitment that they will come back for imbizo. But namhlanje uzodibanisa amehlo. Kwaye sisephansi kwelifu elimnyama. Sisazilile okwalomzuzu. Masiwenze lo msebenzi siwugqibe. Sandule ke ngokuba sibuye sizokwazi uba sibe nezinto esiziphakamisayo nezifuna iattention kaNkulumbuso kunye noTata uMacengwana. Ngifuna ukuthi ke ngaloo mazwi siyaxolisa kakhulu asiyayazi ba yonke ithandeka ba umuntu athethe yedwa nina ningaphenduli kodwa le meko yanamhlanje ifuna senze ngolo hlobo kuba kusafuneke siye kulandawo yeqhwayela ukuze sikwazi ba umphathiswa simnike opportunity. Siyaxolisa kakhulu. Ndikhawulezile ndileqile ke ndicele umuntu othunywe ngu-executive mayor eNgqondwana azosibulela apha ngokukhawuleza sizoyivala le nhlanganiso. Njani ma speaker kuthunywe wena isake so speaker. Speaker ewe
Manibulele kuwe mphathi wale nkqubo. Bulise umphathiswa uHonorable Mchunu. Bulise uPremier. Abaphathiswa abahamba nomphathiswa uMchunu. Umphathiswa Honorable Nqatha. I-commissioners zonke. Ubukumkani bonke basemagondweni. Inkosi zonke. Oceba bonke abakhoyo. Sendukumoshile mphathi wenkqubo ukuthi masiqabele okwaku-acknowledge kwakho. Mphathiswa ukwehla kwesehlo kuhlokomise ilizwe lonke ngenene kufanelekile sisenzo esingaqhelekanga. Ndiyafuna ukutsho into kokuba kuluntu lalapha yakhe izoba bubungqina bento kokuba urhulumente unani. Kulithutyana ingakumbi zikhona izenzo ze-GBV mphathiswa nawe Premier kule ngingqi. Kulo nyaka upheleyo sisebenza sisonke ne-provincial government. We launched i-16 days of activism kule ngingqi kwangenxa yezenzo ezingaqhelekanga apha. Inkqubo zethu zonke njengorhulumente wengingqi, i-district municipality, sine-committee ye-multi-party women's caucus. Sibe neenkqubo ezininzi kule ngingqi. Sihlaba ikhwelo singurhulumente sonke oluthi makhe sisebenzisane sisonke ukuqinisekisa into kokuba abenzi bezenzo ezingafanelekanga kwindawo esihlala kuzo sincedisane norhulumente njengoba senetshile umphathiswa apha kwakunye noPremier. Masinibulele ke ukuba nizokumamela into yoba abantu abanikhokhelayo enababeka ngaphambili bathini kwesithwabuke. Sibulele kuwe mphathiswa iofisi yakho xa iyonke ngokuba ube khona apha yehlisa noko into kokuba sazi into yoba amanqanaba onke karhulumente ahamba onke. Sibulele kuwe Premier, njengoba sele utshilo into yoba kuyobakho ikomiti eza kukuzelela on behalf of the district municipality. Ndiyafuna ukutsho into yoba kwangomhla wokuqala emveni koba usodolophu walapha etshilo uba kukho esisithiwa kumbe kwaleqwa ngu-executive mayor kunye nomeya lo walapha eNgquza nabefundisi ababekhona nenkokheli zokuhlala ezazikhona. Sibambe ngolo hlobo ke sithemba kananjalo into yokokuba sizawubambisana abantu bakuthi siyazi uba lixesha eli-ethe ii-emotions ziphezulu ngoba ingakumbi abantu bokuhlala abaqinisekanga uba who is next. Kodwa yazini into yoba urhulumente wenu uhamba nani, iinkosi zokuhlala zikhona zilapha, abefundisi bayathandaza bemcela uSombawo kwakunye nesipolisa sonke. Ndifuna siyibambe kakuhle ke lento ithi uthe xa ebethetha apha umphathiswa kula namba awubuzwa gama uchaza isenzo esi senzekileyo. Lo nkqubo ke yobuyisela ithemba ebantwini bakuthi phakathi kwabo kunye norhulumente. Siyabulela kakhulu ngokuba nibe khona apha mphathiswa. Ngokuqinisekileyo akufana naqala. Sibulela kakhulu nobukumkani bonke ngobukho babo nenkosi zonke iinkokheli zokuhlala ngoba abantu aba bathi ze babone xa behlelwe sisehlo babone into yokuba abantu bayakwazi ukubafudumeza. Kanganento yoba kunjalo program director ngomso i-women's caucus yase-OR Tambo nomasipala bayo iyobe ilapha ihamba no-National Commissioner kaSalga ne-commissioner zonke zase-Eastern Cape njengenxalenye yozokucuntula le ntlungu apha. Bendixelelwe ke into yokokuba ingathi bazawujoyinwa nanguye uSantago njengenxalenye nabo yokuzokucuntula le ntlungu. Sithi ke bantu bakuthi masibuyele kumdali wethu, ngaxeshanye sibuyele kwiziseko zethu ngoba singabantu abamnyama besinesiseko besiphila ngazo phaa ekuhlaleni zokwazana into yokokuba xa kukhona into engamanga kakuhle masenze kanjani na. Masibuyele kezo ziseko. Siyabulela kakhulu kuni nonke isirhulumente esikhoyo. Mphathiswa, inkosi.
Inkosi kakhulu uGaba ngokusibulela. Sicinga into yobana sifikelele esiphelweni salo nkqubo noko umphathiswa usishiya ngethemba esithi asisakhange sitye emnyameni, siyayazi into esiyikhandelayo. Loo nto ke gives us comfort singabantu bale ndawo. Sizawucela ke siyayicela intsebenziswano sinike amapolisa enze umsebenzi wawo, kungabikho kugxeka-gxekana, kungabikho kuphazamiseka, sibayeke benze umsebenzi wabo, silinde sizole, sihambe siyobeka imizimba yethu kakuhle, sibanike isidima esibafaneleyo kude kube sekugqibeleni. Siphinde sibuye ke emva kwalo msebenzi sizokwenza umsebenzi wethu ke fanele siwenze. Siyabulela kakhulu. You've been a good audience. Ndiyanibona ke ukuba nikhathazekile. I can see it in your eyes. Nithe coka nizolile. Ngokwenene iyabonakala uba yinto eqhelekileyo le. Unqakamisile ayingaqhelekanga xolo. Uyabonakala uba umzi waseNgquza noko awuphathekanga kakuhle, kodwa siyanazi uba ningabantu xa kuthe kwakho nto niphakama nonke. Esingenakuthi asothukanga kubantu bendilapha namhlanje. Ngaloo mazwi enkosi kakhulu. Cela nje sizovalelwa ngofefe. Ayinikwa noba ngubani ebhubhusi laa nto yofefe. Ayinikwa noba ngubani, ndicela ukufundisa sivalela ngofefe. Ayinikwa noba ngubani ebhubhusi. Benza kusikela nto nayo nabani ngasayo. Ngaske bengaselini ke umagoba becaleni kwakho bantwana ubhubhu, not wena bhubhusi.
Xolo kaThixo luqetha kokuqonda amacini inhliziyo nengqondo zenu. Nimazi nimthande uThixo nonyana wakhe uYesu Kristu Nkosi yethu. Ithi siyathwa amahla onke uyise
unyana nomoya engcwele phakathi kuhlale nani nonke ngoku nanaphakade. Amen.
Inkosi kakhulu siyabonga ngokufundisa. Andazi isi-announcement kodwa ke kufanele uba siye kulanda ufamba siye kuyo preview. Khomzi ngenadolo thatha zicawe yam apha bishop wami yonke into.
Minister. I think colleagues taking into account that investigations are still underway, I will open it up to questions, but I will, however, ask that we be brief. So just by a show of hands, do we have any questions? Okay, we have one. Okay, we have Mr. Mbok as well. So I'll take those 2 hands and a third one and a fourth. And those will be the hands that we take. So in that order, someone can go first.
Okay, from ENCA, you say you do know who you are looking for, a person of interest. When are you bringing him in for questions or her in for questions? That's number one. Number two, Minister, you spoke about the fact that a number of concerns were raised by the locals and their family members about crime in this area and some dockets that are gathering dust. In the first place, why did they gather that dust? Because they ought to have been worked on. They shouldn't have gathered that dust in the first place. But number three, it would appear to me as an outsider who has been engaging with the locals that there is a lot of mistrust between the police in the area and the community of that village. People say they do bring information to your police officers, but nothing happens. How do you restore that trust between your police here and that community?
National Commission of Stats. Thanks, Minister. The person of interest, we are not going to arrest him. It's already in our possession. We have the person. It's being questioned as we speak. But the rest of whoever he was with, those are the ones that we. At the moment, as I said, the person is not arrested. We are just questioning, and we know the rest where to go. Thank you very much.
On the dockets that may be, because I haven't seen them, this is what people are saying, gathering dust. I would say this, Paman, when it is time for lunch, you eat. You don't say, where has food been? When it is time for dinner, you eat. Anyone who comes to you and say, why didn't you eat an hour later? It was not time. It is now time. Food is ready. It is now time to dust off those dockets. It's now time to get to another gear of policing in South Africa as a whole. It's a different era, and it has come, and we're on to it. Second issue is trust. Trust is something that requires all parties to build, even to rebuild, for that matter. Sometimes trust breaks, even between two people who are married, who were brought together through vows. But over time, something happens to trust. You then rebuild it. Or you decide that, I don't mind, I'll go my way. Here, we have a country to run. That is South Africa. And security is a pillar in ensuring stability and economic growth of the country. And people who have been mandated to do this are SAPS, South African Police Services. There's no one else. Now, together with SAPS, we're 24 hours on the task. We are going out there to say, first, there may be things here and there that may have caused a perception that SAPS are not to be trusted. But we are saying, we are going out there to do the job. Now, look at what we are doing, whether we deserve trust or not. We're not going to go out to cry and say, please trust us, please trust us. We instead are going to do our job the way it has to be done. And then we'll leave you with judgment whether we are to be trusted or not. But I must assure you, and the public out there that we will do everything to ensure that we promote the rule of law in the country, that we bring order in this country, that we deal with criminals in this country head on when it is necessary. And I see that it is necessary. But I want to warn them, as I did inside, that the criminals, when they see police doing their job, they must surrender, or they will be made to surrender. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Mboko?
Okay, I just wanted to dealt with the point up, but
Just for accuracy, National Commissioner, when you say the person was brought in for question, they were brought in and then released, but they're not being arrested.
Correct. We brought the person in for questioning. We haven't arrested the person yet. We are still investigating.
brought in for questioning and then released.
No. The outcome, at the end of the questioning, it will be decided whether he's arrested or he's released.
So the questioning continues.
The investigation continues, and the questioning continues.
I might as well just add a little bit of context. It does not mean that police were just driving around and they met somebody and they brought him or her in for questioning. He was brought in. He is there and being questioned for a reason, a very good reason.
Just one question, just another one, Commissioner. The crime scene
Was we were there yesterday, but then this morning we found out an order to them cordon off it seemed I'm a novice in these things that why after the fact, why was not cordon off right at the beginning and then I suppose that speaks to the rationale of cordoning off, but only now. And then to the Premier, just with regard to arrangements, funeral arrangements, whatever possibilities are being contemplated, have the families been engaged? Well, there seems to be a great deal of confusion there. And one family has already said that it wouldn't want to be part of this because, well, they have their own reservations. Yet the MSC yesterday even spoke of said that or suggested that you're even looking for an undertaker or undertakers or another things that go into that level. But the families seem to know nothing about any arrangements that are being made. If you could just clarify that as well.
Thank you. The crime scene was cordoned right from the beginning. It was cordoned off. But of course, during the course of investigation, if there are certain things that have been mentioned which might not be of interest when the scene was done, obviously you go back and look for a specific article. Remember, this thing happened at home. At home you have got all the articles that belongs home, that anybody would have at home. But if during your investigation something comes to be mentioned which you seems not to have picked it, or you might have thought this belongs to the home, then you cordon and go for specific articles. So it is possible that crime scene can be gotten off again if for some.
Thank you very much, Statu. You're correct, because the work has been, or probably it's a work in progress. But today, earlier on, we had a meeting with the families, all of them, here, because we came here to see them. We started a conversation with them on how are we taking this process to its logical conclusion. We have agreed with them on the process, and the discussion is also going on with them on a date, because we needed to consult them about that. We processed everything from government to support. Surely we'll be supporting families who need support. Those families that they probably do it on their own. I don't think we'll force them. into this arrangement, but surely we will be able to support all families. We just made it a blanket like that to make sure that the process is followed to the latter. The Director General with all other accounting officers are handling that issue. Bodies are being moved from today to the relevant funeral parlors. So that is being handled. So families have been fully briefed now. So we are also working with them, having established also a small committee. All spheres of government are working together to ensure that we will be able to help families and also to mitigate the disastrous effect of this. You don't want to see these families suffering more than what they've already suffered. What is clear to all of us is that criminals have actually declared war. This is war. So many deaths at the same time only happens when people are at war. And I don't think we should really be resting on our laurels, folding our arms when criminals have declared war. We will definitely reciprocate that. And this is exactly what we're doing. That's the point that the Minister is making. When these thugs are actually drawing their firearms, pointing to police, we don't expect police to run around like headless chicken. Our people are dependent on them. Police are the state themselves. We need to really restore that law and order, and people must respect that. Part of what we've just observed in the recent past, here, Gauteng, Western Cape, KZN, particularly in the taxi industry, the high caliber machines that are used to protect taxi bosses, that are just being showcased everywhere. And as we know, the law says those guns should be on hoisters, and you can have them, but you cannot just be showcasing them the way that it has been happening. We spoke with the PC in our PIF. PC, this must come to an end. We can't go to funerals again and see people shooting at random, people protecting other people the way that they've been doing. There must be law and order. We are not a banana republic. So we are basically inculcating that culture of full responsibility for people to know what is right and what is wrong. Surely, we have said so. We can't really coexist with criminality. We can't give space to thugs. We're not just going to eliminate conditions. We'll basically eliminate thugs. They must not be in our society anymore. Our people have lived terrible life. It's enough, and it cannot go on more than that. We already told the update now that there will be a funeral parlors around here, like your Puma, Zidlekaya, Po, that are already have collected some of the bodies as per the procurement processes. So I won't venture into those kind of detail. What I want is a proper funeral for these people, for families, to be able to be assisted by government, and the provincial government is leading that exercise, coordinating all other spheres of government to make sure that we do have that. We wanted to close this chapter of the funeral so that we allow police to continue with this. What we want are the criminals who have done this. We want them. We want to exhaust our energy chasing them, finding them. We've got to get them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Premier. We have 3 last questions from the 2 colleagues, so we'll have the first 3 questions and then we'll end with the last one.
This person of interest, does she or he have any link to the families and link to the also as a master?
Can we take the last question?
I take it part of the Chopras coming to Lusikisiki. We also forms part of the fact-finding mission. Have you had some people coming out with information from asking you? Because my colleagues and I agree that church to get to the community members to speak on it. But have you had people coming up with information from themselves?
Last question?
We start explain that there are some things that we will be doing to make sure that the civil station actually better serves the people of the communities like Momosa. But I wanted to check, is there anything maybe that the police will be doing? Because people have complained that the sound of gunfire is a daily occurrence. I wanted to check, are there plans to put boots on the ground, specifically in the Mozambique, so that these people can have good night's sleep for now, even if it's just a temporary measure?
Thanks very much. The person of interest, to say where is he coming from, who is he related to, that is part of the investigation that you're not going to get now. You'll get in court if ever this person end up in court. If he doesn't end up in court, then that will be it. So that is part of the investigation. Minister earlier said we have deployed extra boots on the ground here in the form of extra TRT. And he also indicated they are not going to leave the area. So they will be here working in the community, dealing with those incidents of that you report of gunfire. We should also remind the community that, as you remember, after the opening of Lusikisiki police station, we reinforced the station. We brought more extra vehicles in 2022. We brought about 5 vans. And last year we brought 4 vans. We increased the number of police in this area. The community had a problem with the station commander. Yes, we changed him. We have a new station commander now, who's almost just over 6 months, I think. And we also brought the POP in this area. We brought in FCS, which deals with the gender-based violence in this area. So for stabilization of what currently is happening, the current members of TRT that are here, they will stay in the area to stabilize and make sure there is stability in the area. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I think we will end our media briefing here. Thank you very much again for your attendance and patience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.